challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, anyway, just take a look at what he says he is and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
turn
Let's not act like children.
to a specific concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because our own safety is at stake. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me, and he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this with, he's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia, because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
Hey, this is nasty work.
Yo,
This is good TV, bro.
this
is
them
good
niggas getting
TV,
petty
bro.
as a mug, ain't they?
He
God.
said you're a whiner and something snapped when you lost in that last debate. You've lost your mind. Lord Jesus, cook up, man. Cook up.
Dang, I ain't never seen one of these like this, man. Them boys going to the personal attacks instantly. He
Pure
did a bad job. This would have never happened. This would never happen under my administration. Dang, nigga Trump ain't no joke, dog. They don't like him. They don't respect him. Bro. They're not scared of him.
Yo, man, pure ad homs.
Oh my God.
Pure ad homs. The funny part is like, man, I can't wait to talk about this. Hey, first, I'll be remiss. I think you did an amazing job, bro. With your show. I think that it's a message. The message that you're putting out is a message that eventually people will begin to realize that a lot of the stuff that they're doing is not the people themselves, but they start paying a little bit closer attention to the stuff they're being told and see how kind of ridiculous some of this stuff is. Like even you even in some of the ways you were saying it before Marcus got on, I kind of saw like, yeah, like I wonder if it's people that really think, I hope not, but I wonder if it's people that really think that their identity with Black Egypt is somehow going to change their lives tomorrow, right? And I would love to talk to somebody who believes that, like who thinks that somehow on the list of priorities. Now, and once again, I think a person could talk on his own channel. A person could do whatever they want. I learned that, right? You got your channel, you could talk about what you want, this, that, and the other. But I like the perspective of how you was talking to the chat. You know what I mean? Like you're not really talking necessarily to the people that's talking. You're more talking along the lines of the people that's listening. That there's no what's the word? There's no reason for you to be thinking that somehow what somebody's going to say is going to change your life. They're a couple million years ago or however long it is ago. So I like that. I like that a lot. Like that a lot.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. I honestly like me. You know what's crazy? Like, there's some there's some there's some tough love going on there, no doubt. I try to keep it, in the realm of to where it can be listened to and actually like absorb what is actually being said. But there's some real truth to this, right? Like, and if you have to like be aware of in this particular instance who said it first, because Dr. Ben and them, they wasn't playing. Like, they absolutely were trying to provide something for future generations to be
Hold
able
on
to
one
benefit.
second. Hold
Oh
on one
yeah, it's
second.
back. It's back.
Yeah, I
No, we
want to
good. It's
finish it
back.
up. I want to finish it up. Hold on. It should be
Biden,
about
you have
over.
2 minutes.
Oh, just the closing statements. Okay, let's go.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for the ability for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax, but he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all the stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
Peace to the chat. Peace
I'm
to the
mad
chat.
I ain't see the whole thing, yo. That was tight.
No. It'll be over. It'll be over there again. Peace to the chat. We're gonna do a quick recap on everything else, then we're gonna get into the debate. This is a late night show. I might turn the camera on, I might not. Trust and believe I got on my Republican red. I don't I'm a little disappointed, bro. I'm a little disappointed in this debate. I like what Mika said right here. This is sad. Neither two old men, neither one of them good. And the thing that I take from that, which is a little scary to me personally, is that when you watch these debates, we just don't feel represented. I think they talked about specifically Black issues maybe twice, right? Maybe twice. So the fact that they only talked about those kinds of issues maybe once, maybe twice, it just shows that we still are not going to be the focus, right? We're still not going to be the quote unquote they're not about to direct and look at what we got going on. They're just specifically going to stay in that same lane of what's good for the country, taxes, the things to get elected. I was telling my guys earlier in the Discord, the job of a politician is to get elected. Now they'll tell you all that other stuff, and a lot of people will disagree with me, but for the most part, the job of a politician is simply to get elected. Simply, you can make up a bunch of other reasons why necessarily they should or possibly would want to get into office, but it's to get elected. And then once you get elected, it's to get reelected. And I'm no genius. This is specifically my field of work. That's why I'm so excited about it. But let's get some comments from the chat. The link is in there. I want to hear other people's opinions. I watched the entire debate along with moderating Logic's show, which was fire. I'm proud of myself. I took some notes down from your show alongside with notes from my paper. And what's funny? As I was taking notes from your show and writing notes from the debate Logic, the stuff that y'all are talking about, these aren't just Black issues. These are like national issues. Y'all were talking about empowerment. You're talking about housing. You're talking about finance. The model minority. When y'all went into, I forgot the one piece. I think y'all were either talking about Garvey or something with Pan-Africanism. But as I was looking over the notes, these are things that all people still want today.
Right.
Everybody still wants today. Hold on, Sister Safa, peace to you, man. We love you so much. My husband is such a hater. He says Sleepy Joe has a flu. That's why he isn't doing so well. Believe it or not, I think already, and we had this conversation earlier. Believe it or not, they're already playing damage control. Towards the end of the debate, they were saying that he has the flu. That President Biden has the flu. So I think they'll flesh that out over the next couple of days. But even watching them walk out, it was just pure comedy. Pure comedy. It took him 37 minutes to get from the backstage to the podium. He was just shuffling, Logic. He was doing his best shuffleboard. He was shuffling to the stage as best as he could.
So he almost had a
malfunction
in that closeout. He was stuttering and stammering. He almost couldn't get it out.
Bro, he was stuttering the entire debate. He was stuttering the entire debate. A matter of fact, I'm gonna go to a couple freeze frames. Bro, there was a couple times where like live on air, he started staring at Trump and it was like creepy. Like he was like he was like, he was looking at Trump. I'm gonna show you. You know, I'm gonna show you, but I can
It
tell
looked
you.
like them pills was kicking in, huh?
Nah, he was like staring at him, right? He was staring at him, but then like it was like a part where he was kind of like froze. it was like, damn, you're like, you know what I'm saying? You almost wanted to say, okay, I hope they got a replay um of it. Let me see something. If I can go to it. Let me see. But yeah, y'all talk, bro. Did y'all get a chance to watch it? I know you were live, Logic. You couldn't really get a chance to see it.
Nah, bro. You know what's crazy? I text somebody, and they was like, they was watching it, and then they said just out the blue, man, it's entertaining. I'm like, for real? I
Yeah.
ain't never associated the presidential debate with entertaining. Like maybe like informational, but entertaining, man. That means I instantly knew right there that Trump was going crazy if somebody called it entertaining. So I'm mad I missed it. Now that last like little 5 minutes, that little segment we watched, that was entertaining. That was funny. It was
Yeah.
tight.
No, it was definitely good. I think one thing people don't understand is like, you know, we could talk and that's that's what I was about to say. It's funny, right? I was just picturing right now the relevance of some conscious, let's say it was like a show about Black Egypt or something right now at this very moment. Now, I'm
Mhm.
not saying, you know, politics rules all and people should get all into politics, but what do you think is actually more important? You know what I mean? What do you think like right now it's like, all right, so we about to talk about something. I don't know. I like the way you presented your argument. It just showed the relevance or irrelevance in some cases of what you were trying to get across. So without take about 10-20 seconds while I find this. And
Mhm.
what were you trying to get across? What were
Right.
you
So,
trying to
my main objective is really to speak to the audience. Right. I don't think that we'll ever change. The people who are up on stage. I don't think we'll ever change them from their square. Right. But I think if we collectively start to really evaluate what it is that we're listening to and why, I think it starts to make a lot less sense as far as how important it is. Right. And we should be able to ask them questions like, so what am I supposed to do with this, right? Well, now
Mhm.
that the Egyptians are black, what does that mean for me? What does it mean for my children, right? Does it actually help me in my social predicament? Does it help decrease the wealth gap? Does it help, does it help with police brutality? And if it doesn't, maybe it's really fair for us to be able to ask from these people who are claiming to have some solution or be making a contribution to these problems of how it does. And that's just all I'm really trying to say, right? I want to be able to turn the crowd into actually more educated to where they're asking better questions and not just going along with the flow or enamored by someone who looks smart on YouTube. That's terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Peace to the chat. Y'all hit the link early and often. I don't know how long I'm gonna be up here. See, I get into politics, right? So I don't know if this is necessarily like uh what I don't think it was necessarily what everybody wants to talk about, but I know I definitely want to talk about it. Um Sister Saba said I didn't hear any debate questions about mental health issues or health care. I think mental health is a it's one of the leading things, but right now they're going to tackle each other's health, each other's well-being. You know, Biden attacked Trump on his health. You know, he was saying he made the joke. They were talking about Trump told him, "Hey, let's go play X amount of rounds of golf," and then Biden said, "Yeah, I'll play as long as you carry your bag. You just as old as me. You're 6'5", 235 pounds. You're not, whatever." Like he was just like, it was like they were doing a lot of jabs, but then mainly, I think the things they wanted to cover was Roe v. Wade. I think they wanted to cover the taxes, where we are as an economy. They covered Putin, that war. They were covering how much money he was giving Zelensky. They covered Israel and Hamas. This is the first debate, so they're not going to kill each other per se, initially. But I think what they're trying to cover is, I think there's some kind of confusion as to where President Biden stands right now on issues. And what I mean by confusion is, like, he's doing one thing. Like, for example, he's saying, like, I don't want to give out more money, but then every time somebody comes to the White House to ask for money, he's giving it out. And then the main thing with him, and I'm telling you, it was the elephant in the room, that his health. He'll be. I forgot exactly how old Biden is, but his health is a major key. It's a major key. It's a major key. As of today, he's 81 years old. So if he was to become president, so it's November 20th, 1942. So after the next election, he'll be 82, which makes him almost 86 years old by the time that, they asked him blunt questions. Do you even think that you could make it out of your next presidency alive?
Mr. President, can you make it back to the limousine?
Bro, they asked him if he think that he can make it out of his next presidency alive.
Dang.
But that's a real question. Yes, that's a real question.
That's funny,
that was a real question. Hold on, I'm gonna try to pull up the debate questions.
That's funny.
And he feels top of the line. He feels healthy.
That's when you don't even answer him. You just take off running. That's what you do. Just sprint. Show them what you got.
Where's DQ at? DQ in the building?
You gotta go on Instagram and start releasing like workout videos if you buy it. That's what you gotta do.
or just stand out on the White House balcony with your shirt off and just show them what you're working with. Just show them. Just say, listen, let me tell y'all something. Oh, the hell y'all on, but I feel good. I look good. I'm in the best shape of my life. What he need is he need the guy that Ali had speaking for him to rile people up. What was my man name in the movie with the guy Jamie Foxx played in the Ali movie with Will Smith? I forgot his name, but he was the one that said, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee."
Oh, his promoter, he had a promoter that was making up stuff.
Yeah, he need a promoter, bro. He needs somebody to speak for him, get him right. What's Desmond talking about? Peace to you, Desmond. Hold on, let me see. What'd you say first? Sister Safa said he looks like a robot. He looks spaced out for real. Desmond, he says he looked like he does have long. I felt bad. He looked bad, but I thought he was going to throw hands when Trump brought up his son. Yeah, bro, that's a good point. Hey, yo, Trump in the middle of the debate, he said, and I quote, I'll probably get a little bit of it right, but here's the premise. He said that Biden, you are a damn liar. He said, I don't know how you could get up here with a straight face and just lie to people. He said, you're a liar just like your son, Hunter. Oh, my God. And when you saw Biden's face, it looked like he wanted to punch Trump. It looked like it probably took him 15 minutes to get over there, but it looked like he wanted to do something to him. Oh, my God, bro. They started doing ad homs. They started punching below the belt. Yeah, it's gonna get testy because you know what this is, bro. Most elections, people don't necessarily not like each other. These guys don't like each other.
Right.
Like it's real. You know how you get a boxing match where the people really don't like each other, so it becomes
right.
Like
there's no mutual respect.
Right. Like right. You got a situation where Trump really don't like Biden, and Biden really does not like Trump. Like it's a personal thing. They do a lot of stuff for cameras, like behind the scenes. But you got to remember, a lot of times these guys got to go through primaries. So a lot of times they're competing with their own people. I remember when Obama and Hillary were going at it. It seemed very personal when they got on TV. But from what I hear behind the scenes and from the books that I read, that they actually got along. It was actually kind of congenial? I don't know that word.
You talking
And
about as far as the getting along word? I think it is.
yeah, like they got along. It wasn't like a rivalry or a beef or anything like that. But I think in this particular case, though, yeah, they don't like each other, bro. They don't like each other at all, and it comes out, it bleeds out, and I think it's because you know how like you might have had a friend where y'all cool, but y'all went there too many times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
crossed too many times. Yeah.
Too many times. So it's
now
like
everything you say, I'm defensive now. I'm looking for it.
Exactly. Like we've or to an extent of like, say we got into a fight and like, yeah, we threw hands and we probably could have got past it. But say we got into a fight and while I was down, you kicked me. You know what I mean? Like I know, like maybe that's something you'll do to somebody on the street, but now I know that that's how you feel about me. Like I'm the same as just some guy off the street. So now it's kind of different. When you start bringing up, he's very sensitive about his son, as any father would be. His son is a bit, his son is a bit problematic. But being a father, I would never attack his son. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the live AP at what's the name? Okay, so most of the money for the Ukraine doesn't go to Ukraine. It goes to American weapons companies to pay for weapons sent to Ukraine. That's facts. The American government doesn't make weapons and contracts companies. That's facts. That's big facts. But Desmond, would you agree? And tell me in the chat if you agree. Would you also agree that in politics, perception is twice what reality actually is? Because we all live in a perpetual state of really not knowing. You know, the government says this, the government does that, but we lean off of, believe it or not, we're getting our news from Instagram, social media, and the reporting that we're getting even from news stations is biased. So even if that is the actual fact, right, of what it actually is, the challenge that you end up having is what the world pictures the Ukraine as is this. The Ukraine knocks on the door at the White House. Biden opens. He says, "Oh, you again? I told my wife I wasn't gonna give you no more money." And he says, "Come on, baby, I need it. Just give me a little bit more cash. I just need it." and then he just goes in his pocket and just hands the money, right? And then he walks off. So in politics, that's why I tell people all the time, he does not, perception, even if you lived your life that way, it would probably be a lot better. I don't believe in fake it till you make it, work hard till you make it. But I remember when I was still trying to quote unquote make it, I fronted a little bit. I remember I don't like baseball. I used to take potential political client partners or whatever you want to call it, potential candidates that we was going to represent. I used to take them to the box seats Yankees games, right? So I have it now, but I didn't have it then. But I used to take them to Knicks games. I don't like the Knicks. I used to take them to Brooklyn Nets games. I don't like the Nets. But there's many a times back in the day when I was trying to get on or trying to get to where I am now and where I want to go. You fake it until you make it. So, but please believe the country truly believes that Biden is just handing Zelensky billions of dollars every time. And I think it's cool, Desmond, you have that context. And even to speak further into that, I think it's cool, Desmond, that you understand that, you're not a layman, right? You're somebody that's more of a deep thinker. That is not the population of the United States. I'm not saying they're stupid, but I'm saying that they just don't look past surface level. Like if it's on the news, it's true. And that happens. DQ, you in the building? Or DQ, just cut us off when you're ready to talk. CNN reports Dems are saying we have a problem after Biden's performance. Oh, we do. We do. I'm telling you, the elephant in the room about this entire debate was Biden's health. It was Biden's health. It was like when you're watching the debate, he just looked
out of it.
Out. Yeah, he looks spaced
mentally out. not there, which makes you want to wonder the mental capacity for him to do his job, right?
Exactly. This is the person that you're not here. Now, granted, they're both old. That's why I wish Hits was here, because we have some context. They're both old, right? So I'm not gonna I'm not going to sit up here and say Donald Trump is young. But here's the thing. If he looked old standing next to an old person, think of just think about that.
Right.
just think about that. He looked old standing next to an old person. Think about that, bro.
Dang. Yeah.
That's how old he looked, bro. He was spaced out. Like, there's a couple I can't wait. When they replay the debate, I'm gonna just challenge all of y'all. This y'all homework. When you see the debate again, do the replay. There are parts where they go to Trump, right? And Trump is talking, and Biden is looking at him. And I swear, like a couple of the times, you're like, "Come on now, breathe. Come on now, give me a breath now." He just looked. Oh man.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Oh,
it looked like liquid diet old, right?
The man looks sick.
Like an insured for lunch.
He
Type
looked sick.
food. That's what he looked like.
Facts. He looked sick. So I'm gonna give actual coverage. I know there was like a live chat going on, and then if y'all want to hit the link, come on up here. If y'all want to, if y'all don't, it's cool. Listen, these is them kind of shows where, like, I know it's me, right? I'm the one that's in the politics, so I don't need anybody to tell me anything. I don't need your help. I don't need I don't even care if people watch this kind of stuff. This is right up, what I like to do, what I like to talk about. So if it's not fun to y'all, I wish you the best, but this is what we're talking about tonight. I saw a live chat earlier that I wanted to pull up. So, hey, DQ, what's going on? You in Texas, so what's the feeling down there? If you could talk about it, where you at, Logic, right now? I know you from Louisiana, but what state you in right now?
I'm in Louisiana. I'm in Shreveport, bro.
Oh, okay, you home right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in Shreveport, bro. The last week I was traveling all the way from Montana to Louisiana, so I made it down here, put a week's worth of work in, and getting all my new paperwork and responsibilities together and all that stuff. It's been a hectic week as far as work, definitely.
Yeah, so I applaud you even more on pulling off that show earlier. You know what's funny about you and Marcus? Somehow you and Marcus always find yourselves together, bro. I'm not trying to, I know that's super pause, but I think that I think there might be something there, bro, where y'all could put some work in. Y'all could come up with maybe a product that y'all do together, because y'all actually have good chemistry live. I was watching the debate, but I was listening to y'all while you were going. So let me see. So what they saying in okay, so coming from a pseudo killer that says everything with a source, right? You just said that man had COVID, and that, sir, is a lie. They're saying he had the flu, but we don't know. We don't know. He had diarrhea and he stood tall. You got to be out of your mind. Yeah, Sosa, cut the crap. If the Afghan pullout happened under Trump, the same thing would have happened. Oh yeah, I would agree. I think especially with Trump wasn't as globally welcomed, right? A lot of that had to do with perceptions. But even Biden, we forget, Biden was the vice president for, Obama. So a lot of that stuff, he was set globally before the game even started. Before they even got out the what's the name. So I'm gonna do a little bit of live chatting about the debate. At least I think I am. 1 second. No, I don't want to start my morning off with the AP news. Definitely. All right. So you didn't watch the debate, right?
No, I couldn't. I was alive.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, damn. That was a dumbass question, bro. Like, my name is Doomis. So before the debate started, President Biden took a jab at Trump's insinuations that he's using drugs to enhance his debate performance. Biden posted Biden posted photos on social media and a message that he's been drinking a canned beverage called Dark Brandon's Secret Sauce. It's water in a can, but the ingredient label notes Trump 34 felony convictions and stresses that the main ingredient in the aluminum can is MAGA tears.
Wow.
Oh my God. Biden has tried not to dignify Trump, but his campaign is selling the canned water for $4.60 a piece. Do you see what I mean by capitalism, bro? So I guess that's capitalism too, right?
He done found a way to make money off the man making fun of him, bro.
Yeah. A can of MAGA tears. I think I might buy it. Let's see how that tastes.
Hats off, man. And it's kind of funny.
So they're saying also that Trump already made his vice presidential pick. And that the person was actually in the building. So you got the Ohio Senator, OH, J.D. Vance. You got North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. I can't stand him. But Sosa, that's where Sosa is from, South Carolina. So we got Sosa to thank for Tim Scott. Everybody thanks Sosa. And Florida Senator Mark Rubio, they'll be advocating for him in the post-debate analysis. And that's usually how these things work. In the presidential debate, when he still hasn't picked a vice president, what they do is you could tell the people that want to be vice president, because right now I'm missing probably the better parts of the debate, but I'm media too now, so we can talk about it ourselves. Right now, the potential vice presidents are the ones that are out there, doing damage control, saying that Trump washed them. No matter how Trump did, they would have been saying something positive, because believe it or not, Trump's people are watching and they're going to decide necessarily who's going to do. So Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, they were the hosts. There was no audience whatsoever. That was one of the rules, that there was no audience. They did not shake hands. That's true. They didn't shake hands at the start of the debate. That might seem like a break from tradition, but it's happened a few times before. During COVID-19, they didn't shake hands. I remember that distinctly. That was like how can we shake hands and we're telling everybody to be separate? So that didn't happen. And between Trump and Hillary Clinton. So that's the first picture of it. How does this look on the screen? Y'all tell me if it's too small and y'all can't see it. How's it look?
It looks good. It looks good.
Okay. All right. So that's the debate. So no, that's 8:30. Let's move forward. Okay, they did not shake hands. They both walked slowly. It was weird. When y'all watch the debate, just pay attention to it. Trump, you could tell that somehow Trump is really trying to get across, like, yes, we're both old, but you know how like Sosa was like, there's a difference between black and black, right? That's how Trump was acting. Like Trump was kind of saying, yes, they're old, but like he's old. That guy over there, he's old. Like we're, it is what it is. We both in our, damn near 80 or if not 80s. And you could tell he just looked old, man. He just looked bad. Pure black, peace to you. Imhotep Jackson Jr. said, I only watch Side-Letter debates. That is hilarious, bro. That is hilarious.
Crazy.
Peace to what's my man name? Peace to Sonetta. And what's the host? He's real good at Domo. He's real good at hosting. Peace to him. So the first question goes to President Biden. So the first question was, what do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under Donald Trump? So you know what? Let's answer some of the questions. So what do you say? Do you feel like we're worse off now, Logic, than we were under Donald Trump? What do you think? And then, matter of fact, in the chat, why don't y'all answer that in the chat too? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this interactive. Trump has a slow pimp stroll.
The simple fact that I saw an article recently, or I saw CNN having debates on their channel about the wealth gap disparity and they were talking about some of the racial implications towards that, and these type of conversations were coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, there's no coincidences coming up around election time, right before debates and stuff like that. That all that stuff's on purpose. I gotta say it's worse under Biden. Like I just have to. It's as simple as that for me. That's an issue that's right by my heart.
So one of the things under Trump, right, it's kind of hard to gauge, and I kind of thought that they would discuss this. A lot of times people forget Trump. Trump, he had to deal with COVID-19. So when you try to judge his presidency per se, it's always, in my eyes, it's always going to be a little polarizing. Because I mean, you got that's something that's not normal. That's not something that that it's not a normal set of circumstances, right? So under his presidency, he had to deal with a shutdown of the world, but in his case, the United States. So I think he didn't lie. At one point in the debate, he told Biden, "I handed you the country with 0% inflation," and I don't think a lot of people knew that, right? I don't know if it was exactly 0%. I have to double check that, but he said, "I handed you the country with no inflation." Now Biden had a great answer coming back, but in the same token, it kind of gives you an idea of where we were to where we are now. I think Biden had said at the time, he said the reason why it was 0% inflation was because the economy was on its back. But like I said, once again, as much as everybody wants to hate Trump, I won't lie, I'm not. I've said many times before, I'm a Republican in the main three pillars of the party. But in the same token, if he did a good job, I'd say you're doing a good job. I truly don't think Biden is doing a good job. I don't. I truly don't. With the migrant crisis failing, HBCUs failing, the amount of money that he's given in Ukraine or designated for Ukraine failing, and then on top of that, listen, Logic, his age has to be a discussion. We got to have that discussion. His age it's problematic. I mean, and it's not that he's just an old person. Pure Black, please, bro. It's not that he's just an old person. I mean, you falling up the steps, you falling down the steps, you sitting on the steps, like you are. I don't know. What do you say? What do you say to somebody that says, what do you think about his health? In the chat, answer that question. Is Biden's health right now a concern for you?
He don't look like a credible witness in a traffic violation right now. I wouldn't trust what he told me he saw yesterday if somebody ran the red light and had a car accident. I ain't gonna lie to you. I couldn't trust it. He looked like he's in and out of different topics as he's talking. He's having trouble staying on topics, reading whatever. I don't know if he was reading off the teleprompter or trying to
he
memorize
definitely
all
was,
of it.
no question.
But he was having a hard time.
They're not gonna let him freestyle. Yeah, no, they're not gonna let him free. Let me tell you something. I was a part of many local elections in the Northeast area for about 15 years, and we didn't really let the person freestyle at all. By the time they've gotten to the podium, even if they're not reading off a teleprompter, we've done hours. That's kind of why I'm comfortable on these panels and stuff, because we would do this through Zoom with candidates and candidate elects in the Northeast. I've done that at least, I kid you not, probably about 20, 30,000 times. And it's no exaggeration, because you have situations where you don't want them to get up there and freestyle. Do not get up there and freestyle. The worst thing you can do is get up there and freestyle, because when you freestyle, what happens is this. Somewhere in there, you're going to say something and it's going to be slight. Like, for example, I had a candidate one time in East Orange, and they had already been getting grilled on. It was a Hispanic candidate, and he was getting grilled on what he thought of. And I'm gonna speak to Desmond's comment in a second. What he thought about minorities in East Orange, New Jersey. And one of the things that even he said was that uh they were talking about that he didn't represent black people, minorities, but he was focused mainly on Hispanics. And in the middle of his speech, um he told the other candidate, stop monkeying around. And it was a black candidate. And he lost badly. He went from about to win, and he lost badly just for saying stop monkeying around. Just for saying I'm gonna stop monkeying around. That's what I mean. Like, perception is reality. Now, I don't know the guy's personal life. I don't think he's racist. I spent a lot of time with him. But I don't think he's racist. But just off him saying that, from that day, you can see a precipitous drop in his numbers from that day.
Mhm.
That day on. So that's why we knew, that was necessarily the cause of it. Desmond says, I don't think the president has that much of an effect on the economy as we like to believe. No, but that goes back to perception. When you have a certain confidence in the president, the economy looks a lot stronger than what it is. But trust and believe, if you got a president that people don't believe in, maybe not his policies per se, but there's a certain thing where you got to have a certain level of confidence in the office of the presidency. It's important. Desmond also says a big concern. The only time I think he was there when Trump mentioned his son. Yeah, he got fired up. Listen, for those who watched it, Biden was gray the entire debate. His skin was gray. He was clammy, this, that, and the other. When they mentioned Hunter Biden, when Trump called him a liar, he told him, he said, your son is a liar. You're a liar. You can look somebody, Trump told Biden, you can look somebody right in their face and you would never know if you're telling a lie or not. He got fired up. But even then, he looked like the get off my lawn guy. Like, he didn't even look. I felt nothing when he said that at all. So,
and his hands, for me, I don't know. Like, I like to watch people's mannerisms.
mm-hmm.
His hands, for me, were very inauthentic. Right? It felt like he was going off of a script. It felt like Trump was doing a little bit more rambling, but at least it was like passionate rambling. It was
Mm-hmm.
stuff it felt like was on the tip of his tongue, and he'd been, kind of like waiting to be able to say, but it didn't feel scripted. Whereas when Biden was talking, it literally looked like a robot. It absolutely was the impression I got from like all of his just the way that he was conducting himself as he was doing it was absolutely disconnect. If you get what I'm saying, it didn't look like he was authentically having a conversation or talking about things that were important to him. That's not the impression that I got, and that was something that really stood out to me instantly.
Perfect. That's perfect, bro. That's perfect. So Biden started out the debate, right? So oh yeah, this was bad too. This was really bad. So Biden's voice was sounding really hoarse when they first started. Like, he sounded really bad. Um, with the economy as the first issue, Biden details inheriting what he described as an American economy in free fall. About 3 in 10 said the economy was the most important problem facing the country in a May Gallup poll, but that included a range of economic issues. 1 in 10 pointed specifically to the high cost of living or inflation. 2 in 10 said immigration was the top problem. Another 2 in 10 said the government or poor leadership was the most important one problem. And that's what I said, like when Sister Safa was saying why they didn't discuss mental health. They didn't discuss mental health because, I'm not saying they didn't do it because of this, but I know in 90 minutes, you want to hit the main points. And then 2, I know that they don't want Biden up there for 3 hours. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Especially late into the night. I don't necessarily think that would have been
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe. Exactly, bro. So President Joe Biden, he started out and he did this a lot too. I don't know how much time you got because I'm gonna do this for about 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Did you make up Sleepy Joe or did you get that from somewhere?
No, that's his moniker.
Yeah, that's his moniker, Sleepy Joe. That's what we call
That's
him,
his
maybe.
moniker. They call him Sleepy Joe because there are
Yeah,
times
Trump
when he's
thought of
sitting
that.
there, he
Trump
just falls
actually
asleep.
coined it.
Yeah, it looks like he's falling asleep. Bro, there's times in these like where he does his like where the president shows up to do this, the president shows up to do that. He looks like he's knocked the hell out.
Yeah, you do.
So, but
eyes
He
open, sleep.
he looks knocked out or he looks wide awake. Like his eyes are too open when they supposed to blink. It's like his whole algorithm is off. Like Biden just glitching. He glitching. That's what everybody was saying today who watched the debate at the shop.
Oh,
It looked like he was glitching.
Yeah. They said he started out the debate with a gaffe, and he did this a few times. He said he created 15,000 jobs, but the number is 15 million. And like he just like it was like little, how you could tell, how when you first wake up in the morning, you're just a little off.
Right. 15,000 jobs for the whole country.
You're funny, boy.
Damn, Joe.
It backfired on them, bro. They tried to implement a whole fact check thing. They tried to implement a fact checker thing and it backfired. They tried to implement it for Trump and it backfired on Sleepy Joe.
And he did it so many times, bro. Then he got to stuttering. And then a couple of times he was trying to talk and the damn words just would not come out. They just wouldn't come out, bro.
He was glitching, bro.
It wouldn't come out. Yeah, he was definitely glitching. So it says,
he had a bad one in the conclusion, yo.
Yep. Trump opened the debate by bragging about the state of the economy. He said, yeah, everything was rocking good. Because one thing that Trump stands on, and I'm not in lockstep with Trump. I don't even want to put that out there. But people just forget that there was a pandemic during his presidency. It's like they hate and mind you, he's giving people many reasons to dislike him. That's almost like one of his strategies or tactics. But they act as though he didn't have the pandemic while he was president. So it's hard to gauge exactly what he would have done. Imagine if right now with Biden, we're at the end of his presidency. Imagine if Biden was basically the president for 7 to 8 months, and the first 3 years the world was shut down, essentially. So you have these concerns, but he came out with 2 ads. The ads were very good. One of the ads for Trump had a commercial. In Trump's campaign, he came out with 2 new ads that are airing key battleground states. The first question is whether Biden can make it 4 more years in the White House. They showed footage in the commercials of Biden tripping up the stairs of Air Force One and falling off his bike. This is
That's why Trump gonna win, man. He know how to make it entertaining, dog.
Oh my God, bro. And the tagline for the commercial is vote Joe Biden today, get Kamala Harris tomorrow.
Oh, that's crazy. All right.
Oh my God.
That boy Trump is a battle rapper. He's a battle rapper.
Yo, man.
That's crazy.
So that's how he looked for people trying to figure out, what he looked like. That's what he looked like during the campaign. I mean, he's an old man, but like I said, they're both old. I wish we had people, y'all hit the link. I really want to get Biden supporters in here so we don't just, seem like we're just going crazy. But Trump says he inherited he said that Biden is, okay, this is what I was telling you about logic. Trump said that Biden inherited almost no inflation and accuses the current president of blowing it up under his administration. And like you said, 3 in 10 Americans. The main issues in the right now are inflation, immigration, and then the leadership. the health and the age of the people that are
Competence.
going to be in charge of us, huh?
The competence of the leadership, right?
Exactly. Trump called, that was another highlight. Trump called the U.S.'s withdrawal from Afghanistan the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life. He says that his 10% tariff on all imports won't drive up inflation, but it will stop other countries from ripping off the United States. Now, a lot of economists disagree. That's true. They found that Trump's taxes on imports would increase costs for a typical U.S. family by $1,700 a year. Trump's claim that millions were admitted to the country from prisons and mental institutions is unsubstantiated. There is no evidence of that. But that goes back to this, whether is he lying? Does he lie? Yeah, you know what I mean? But like I told you, when it comes to politicians, and this is not in his defense, this is in Biden's defense also, they're trying to get reelected. So they know nobody is really going to do a show like this. A lot of people don't read the fact checks. A lot of people watch the debate. It's 10:30 at night. They go to bed, and then they talk about it at work tomorrow. And I promise you, the main thing they're going to be talking about tomorrow is Biden's health. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
how bad he looked.
That's
that
what
was
I think.
obvious.
That's just my opinion. I think they're going to look at how bad he looked. They're also going to bring up Trump. Trump made a lot of miscalculations. I don't see the average person doing that because they don't know. Like, for example, even when Biden said 15,000, believe it or not, there are a lot of people that would just be like, okay, that's pretty good. He could have done better. They don't even realize, you know what I'm saying? I don't give people a lot of credit when it comes to politics because a lot of people don't watch politics. They just vote because you could tell them even how they vote. There's a reason. One of the reasons why they have party lines is like, you don't vote for 7 people and then vote for 3 others and just, mix the whole thing up. So,
and he was attempting to say that over the last 4 years he created 15 million jobs for the whole country.
Right.
And he ended up saying for the last 4 years I made 15,000 jobs for the whole country. Nah,
exactly.
but you know what, you nailed it right there, bro. Because you could watch that whole thing back on mute and not hear a word of it and still come away with concerns about Biden's health. Like it's glaring, it's staring at you right there.
Right. I mean, like, people joke about how Trump is orange and all of that, and it is hilarious. But I think when an old person, if you put 2 old people that are somewhat close in age next to each other, and one looks there, it showed me that one can look distinctly older. Even when Trump speaks, like he speaks with, he's old, it's old conviction, but it's not like stuttering and stammering and losing thought and all of that kind of stuff. Now, here's the crazy part though. If Trump was to get elected, please believe I would have some concerns about his coherence, for the next 4 years. So that old thing is not, right now I'm just thinking about perception. They're so close in age that you'd have mainly the same concerns, but Biden's concerns is because it's how he looks. Is there anything in the chat? I'm reading something else. Is anybody saying anything in the chat? Okay, so Desmond says, my problem was when Biden went off script trying to defend a point. He also called Trump Putin and Putin Trump. Yeah, he was bugging. See, that's what I mean. Remember I said earlier that you don't really want to go off script. Right? You don't really like not even just a presidential debate, but any real election, because when you make mistakes like that, those are things that people harp on. Those are, like, when you said those are things people remember. People don't pay attention to tariffs. Like, I like the way yeah, look at Desmond. Desmond, put in the chat, are you do you vote based on party, or you don't have to tell me what party you are, but just tell me, do you vote on party or do you vote on issue? But even he said the way he looked tonight, Kamala's going to be president. Yeah, it doesn't look like he'll make it another 4 years. I mean, I don't want to wish that anything on President Biden, but it just doesn't look good. Yeah, and it says other countries don't pay tariffs. We do. Right. So it's almost like he's trying to equal. So Biden also made a mistake when he said it's $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. Out-of-pocket insulin costs for older Americans on Medicare were capped at $35 in the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act that President Joe Biden signed into law. The cap took effect last year when many drug makers announced that they would lower the price of the drug to $35 for most people on private insurance. But Biden regularly overstates that many people used to pay up to $400 monthly. People with diabetes who have Medicare, they paid about $450 yearly. See what I'm saying? Like the average person is not going to read this, but it's like, I don't know if he's saying this kind of stuff to get elected, making these mistakes to get elected, or if he's saying these things because he just truly can't formulate it. What do y'all think in the chat or on the panel? What do y'all think? Is he saying these things to get because he's making mistakes, or do you think he's he truly? I don't know. What you think? Oh, y'all doing something else. See, I told you, politics. This is my thing. So let's go forward. Trump says the U.S. economy was ready to start paying down its national debt before the pandemic. That's not true. Yeah, he did lie about that. Budget deficits were increasing under Trump because of his 2017 tax cuts. Didn't pay for themselves as he had promised they would. Trump inherited a budget deficit of $585 billion, but in 2019 it ballooned to $984 billion, only to climb above $3 trillion in the 2020 after the pandemic hit. So yes, the economy was not ready to start paying. He said he supported the Supreme Court's decision to preserve access to mifepristone. I put Biden says the idea of turning abortion laws back to states is like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. That was a bar, though. That was a bar. That was definitely a bar. He hit Trump with that. He hit Trump with that. That's a bar. Abortion is going to be a big issue. And I think what people don't realize, one of the main reasons why they're trying to get Trump, y'all cut me off because I can go on all day about politics. But one of the reasons that Biden, they really don't want Trump in office is because of the layout of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is leaning Republican. So if it comes down to it, especially if they get Congress again, if they get Congress and they get the Supreme Court and he's the president of the United States, oh man.
They're gonna be passing laws left and right, huh?
Yeah. Well, the theory is I mean, a lot of Republicans, remember, all Republicans don't all agree with each other. So, there is a chance that he'll put stuff on. But if he gets things, like there'll be certain things that they'll just be able to push right through. Because in order to get the support, he's gonna have to make a lot of connections, a lot of friends and things like that, kiss babies and all of that. But then also he's gonna have to agree to certain deals. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to agree to a certain amount of things in order to get certain levels of support. All Republicans are gonna put their energy behind them for the most part, but to get that support that you really want, they're going to do that. But I think the abortion laws, and Roe v. Wade, that's going to be a hot button issue, even though the country's stance on it is a little interesting, but I ain't getting into that. Okay, so that's still them talking about abortion. Okay, so Biden around 9:20, he lost his train of thought while trying to make a point about the tax rates and the number of billionaires. Biden trailed off and looked down before mumbling about COVID and saying something to the effect that we finally beat Medicare. When he tried to come back to finish his point, moderator cut him off because his time was up. Trump quickly interjected. He's right. He did meet Medicare. He beat it to death. Yeah, that was that was
I'm telling you, you're a battle rebel. Rebuttals.
That was a bar.
I seen that. I seen that, man. You ain't get that past me. That's what he said.
Oh man, see what I mean? See, Biden trails off. Now I'm specifically going to the AP, the Associated Press. I'm not going to MSNBC. I'm not going to ABC. I'm not going to Fox. AP is, they lean depending on the leadership and sometimes in their writings because they got a lot of different people writing. But it's the Associated Press, so this is kind of like a middle ground to what it is. But even they're saying, he just looked crazy. Trump says he believes in abortion ban exceptions for race, incest, and the life of the mother. Those exceptions are at the heart of a case the U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling on today. Under Idaho's abortion ban, women have been unable to get abortions in medical emergencies because the state only has an exception to save the life of the mother, not to save her health. Do y'all understand what that means?
Not the last part. The first part, yeah.
Okay, so what it is Trump, the abortion ban, he says, repeal. Obviously, he doesn't support Roe v. Wade. He wants to put the power of the ability to regulate abortions. He wants to give that to the states. But one of the things that he believes in rape, incest, and the life of the mother. In those three cases, we should, let them do it. You shouldn't have a rapist baby. You shouldn't have incestuous baby if you don't want to. And if you having the baby is going to kill you, then or affect your life insanely, but mainly kill you. If it's going to kill you, then okay, I'll probably y'all's in the chat. If he's going to kill you per se, Cubans in the building. That if it's going to kill you, that you shouldn't be held to the same standard, right? So one of the things that Trump was saying was that under Idaho's abortion, this happened today, but under Idaho's abortion ban, and this is key, under Idaho's abortion ban, they don't care necessarily about the health of you, only the life. So if you having a baby right now is making you sick, like it's causing you to have severe health issues, if you're not going to die, then they still wouldn't let you have the abortion in Idaho right now. So you know what it is. Cuban, what's going on, bro? How's your evening?
Oh, it was magnificent at work.
Now, what's up, Cuban?
What's going on? I was at work. I caught peace, DQ. I caught you and Marcus, and I thought it was constructive. I thought it was mature. I thought it was interesting. No arguing, no cutting off, no being disrespectful. Agree to disagree respectfully. I thought it was good.
Appreciate that.
Fire. So they talked about abortion a little more. States are currently setting their own policy on abortion, but 6 in 10 Americans believe Congress should pass a law guaranteeing access to legal abortion nationwide. So that's the argument. Should the state set the laws in regards to abortion, or should we leave it up to the federal government? I don't want to have that conversation. I mean, if y'all want to talk about it or give your views, but certain things I don't give my views on publicly because, it's my business. If any of y'all want to talk to it, just cut me off as I move through this. Trump tried to jump in while Biden was speaking, raising his index finger and beginning to speak. But thanks to the rules, he muted his microphone and the camera cut away. That was interesting. He was still talking. I think the muting of the microphone was important. I think it's something we may do on panels sometimes. Just keep everybody on mute while somebody's talking and then allow somebody to get in. The Border Patrol did not endorse Biden like he suggested, but a union for its agents did endorse a bipartisan Senate proposal. See, that's what I mean. They kept saying stuff that wasn't true. And it wasn't just him, it was both of them. So I don't know if they were lying, they were inaccurate, or they were old. Or fourth, they're running for office and perception is more important. What do y'all think? Do you think they were lying?
Well,
they both were doing it.
If he wasn't freestyling, then this was a concerted effort for a staged lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like it's really not even him lying, but it's like his camp trying to push a particular narrative that is also a lie. You know what I'm saying? So kind of bigger than a lie. You know what I'm saying? If you put it like that.
Sister Safa, where you getting this information from? She says Dems. Okay, so she's Anderson Cooper. So she's watching CNN right now. So it says Dems are saying it's hard to argue that Biden should be the nominee. Yes. I agree. If you're a sitting president, it's obvious you're gonna run. But I mean, you can just look at him. Like, I wish we had somebody else besides me saying this. I know you're saying it too, Logic, but he looks shaky, bro. He looks shaky. Uh Desmond said they don't care. They don't care about what, Desmond? Probably something I said, but they don't care. Oh
Hey,
yes, this is
Brad,
soccer watching the recap. Yeah.
just to touch on it, like I said, where we was viewing it and the different people in my group who was viewing it, the optics did not look right, bro. Like I said, he looks like a meme. Like tomorrow is gonna be filled with memes. You're gonna see
Hmm.
this in real time, how people looked at his appearance.
Oh yeah. They're gonna make him famous tomorrow. I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
big
just
time.
watch, bro. Just watch. It's gonna be very interesting. Let's see. Trump is pro-life, not pro-choice. Easy facts. Way to sum it up. States are going crazy out here. That's not a great plan. And I do agree there with you, doesn't it? I definitely agree with you right there. You see, hey, I got on that Republican red, just letting you know what's going on.
No, man, no. So Kendrick was wearing that was Republican. All right, I got it. Never mind. I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
follow
know
that.
what? At the pop out concert. That's yep.
Yeah, it was
See?
Republican.
Kendrick is a Republican, man. That's what it
I
is.
got it.
Uh Desmond, I like politics. I tend to vote on issues which the Dems are usually on the side of the issues I support. Okay. I like that. Because a lot of people, I got out of trying to um what's the word? I got out of asking people, are they Democrat or Republican? Just do you vote party line or do you vote issues? Hits says one convicts felons and one is a convicted.
I like it. I like it. It's accurate too.
Yeah, hey, you know what? It might be past your bedtime. Ain't it? What time is it?
Hey, don't stop doing my man like that. Let my
It's
man rock.
11:40. You are an hour and 40 minutes past your Metamucil and your warm milk. Go to
Dang, not
bed.
the Metamucil. That's
That's
Metamucil.
crazy.
crazy, son.
Wait, what do you say? What do you say? You got stuff going on at both ends.
I forgot
Yo,
he said that.
Yo, that is the line
Man,
of the day.
when you
You
got
don't
it,
want
no,
to
he
have
said when you
both.
got
You
it
don't want to
going
have it going
on
on
both
at
ends.
both ends. That's a
God
bar.
dang.
Mm, I agree completely.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
Trump calls the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life. That's tough. Trump and his Republican allies in Congress have assailed the Biden administration for botching the withdrawal from Afghanistan after 20 years of war. Um, the one thing I'll say about that withdrawal, and this is in Biden's defense, and this next line kind of says it too. It's funny. I Trump kind of set him up on that. And I don't know for those of y'all are familiar, but a year before Trump left office, he was already ready to leave. Like he had already, said like, all right, let's withdraw. Um, let's get out of there. But then he left it to Biden to do, but they never told him like the relationships were different. And then by the time Biden wanted to do the withdrawal, the government at that time, that's why I'm saying this line is important. It was complicated by the collapse of the Afghan government and the military. So they both are kind of at fault, but I blame Trump a little bit more on that one because it's almost like and this is what I mean, man. Sometimes to win an election, you never know what these people's motives are, but to win an election, you don't play around with the lives of soldiers. You don't play around. You know what I mean? Like that's not something that I don't think you do that. Hey, Cuban, and y'all cut me off, bro. Because it's politics, so I can talk all night.
Are you
Trump.
doing your thing? I'm learning actually. This is tight.
Okay, Trump leaned heavily on migrant crime. Yes, and I knew that he was going to do it. Everybody, that was the other elephant in the room besides Biden health. what is Biden's excuse going to be for the migrant situation that we're in? And in Houston, it's sad, you know, rest in power. Two Venezuelan migrants, they strangled a 12-year-old girl to death in Houston. At the University of Georgia, a Venezuelan man who entered illegally, he's been charged with killing 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley, rest in power, while she jogged in a park on the University of Georgia campus on February 22nd. So some crime is expected, given the large population of immigrants. There were an estimated 10 million people in the country illegally in 2021. According to the latest estimate, a figure that has almost certainly risen with large influxes at the border. In 2022, the Census Bureau estimated the foreign-born population at 46.2 million, or nearly 14% of the total, with most states seeing double-digit percentage increases in the last dozen years. So it's easy to say that the migrant crisis is out of control, and they hit them for it. Now, I'm not blaming Biden 100% on this. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Trump likes to say that Biden's having him locked up. The whole Trump attacks Biden for his foreign policy. The whole world is blowing up under him. Then he responded ever so presidentially, "I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life." I didn't know that people actually use that word in common language. Cuban, what you got? What you got to say so far? Give me 2 minutes. Speak to the people for 2 minutes.
They both full of shit. That's my 2 minutes right there.
That's a strong. You know, I appreciate the. I appreciate your feeling. I get the feeling of. I get to know where you stand, and that was good commentary on the presidential debate. Jesus.
So Brad, if I got your take on this correct, right? You're more
oh my
on the
God,
lines
bro. I'm so terrified about this show tomorrow. Go ahead.
That Joe Biden probably is full of shit, and Trump just got some shit with him. Is that kind of more where you at?
No. I agree with Cuban's sentiment about 70%. I think it's a little different. I think that I don't think Trump is a politician. You know what I mean? I think he's a businessman. So the things that he does look different to me. You know, they look different. They don't look, you know, it looks like the moves of an older Caucasian selfish businessman. The reason why I'm more concerned about Biden, and I'll stay on this, is he's incoherent. He's incoherent. Listen, you know, we start in Tri-Media, right? We're all relatively young, besides his.
Bro, relax. Get out.
Okay, all right.
Crazy.
But you know, let's just say when we started Tri-Media, so hits is like 80. So what if the person that, like, let's say they was trying to meet for us to all come into business. Let's say the person was like 85 years old, like 5 years older than hits. What? So what if that was the case? How confident would you be? Or like, yeah, I'm fired up. I'm gonna join that and start rocking. Go ahead, Logic. Be honest. And that's where I'm at with it. Be honest. Would an 85-year-old man, 5 years older than hits, be able to convince you to start a business in the United States?
It'd be a lot less predicated on the actual number and my faith in him actually being, like, you know, mentally aware to make decisions, right? So the number wouldn't throw me off as much as if I watched him if he looked like Sleepy Joe tonight, right? Like Sleepy Joe ain't had no enthusiasm. He didn't look. He didn't have the energy, like, right, like he don't look like he ready to get up and go, at a moment's notice, or if anything go wrong, that he kind of still got the wherewithal to figure it all out. Now I'm not looking at that. That's not what I see, right? I see somebody who needs help getting in and out the car. You know what I'm saying? he needs somebody to I'm not even gonna go there, but he need help with basic everyday things. So now I'm trying to.
Can you run a country?
Being able to strategize on some larger level, and I don't think he's right there.
Can you run a country if you can't walk?
I think it's hard. I mean, I think it's hard. If the reason why you can't walk is because you old and feeble, yeah. But didn't, like, Teddy Roosevelt couldn't walk, but he was mentally right. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on why you can't walk. Oh yeah, polio.
Right.
Like that. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
I was trying to think of a bar, but you hit me with a real fact that I had to back up. Teddy was a bad motherfucker.
It's
I had to back up off that one. Teddy was a bad motherfucker.
It ain't just age. You can have some spry. You can still be spry and old, but he ain't. He ain't.
Yeah.
He might need to switch to Ensure with the Protein Plus or something. Whatever his formula is, it ain't got enough of something in it. He missing something.
Yeah, he needs to switch to 2 of them with a Red Bull in it. He needs to be drinking Ensure Protein Plus with Red Bull.
With black oil seed, some elderberry. We need to hear him with all of it.
That's what he's missing.
Even some damn vitamin to do him nice.
Oh man.
He's slipping, bro. He is slipping. All right, so let's bring it home. So they do a 4 and 10. Somebody else said this. I think Cuban said this earlier. About 4 and 10 want the government to get out of global policy. A substantial share of Americans want the U.S. to dial back its involvement in global problem solving. About 1/4 of Americans want the U.S. to take a more active role in solving the world problems. And about 1/3 says its current role is about right. So basically about 40% wish that the United States, similar to what Cuban said the other day. That's why I didn't dismiss it, Cuban, when you said it. That, while I understand that we have to participate in a lot of these global issues and we got to do some of these things. Remember that conversation? I said, you're not alone, bro. A lot of people wish that the United States would just mind their business, let things go, and focus on the population that we have here. The conflict between Israelis and Palestinians, I don't discuss that.
I discuss it.
If y'all want to discuss it, y'all can, but just not. I don't. Too many lives lost. It makes me uncomfortable at this point. I don't like to. It's almost like to take a side on that with the amount of lives that's been lost, not just since October, but over time. I stay away from it. You can do it, but with kid gloves. You could do it, but with kid gloves. Go ahead, Cuban.
I can't do it with kid gloves.
Okay, all right. Well, then leave it alone.
I can do it without profanity. I can do it without profanity.
That's a. I don't know. Go ahead.
The stance I take is that, in regards to that, I agree with you that there has been lives on both sides lost, right. And that's the unfortunate part. Is politics, on both sides. However, I would go with, if 2 people got in a fight and you got hit first, what are you going to do? So I look at the Palestinians were hit first with this whole thing. So, and I think that, you know, with the travesties that's going on there towards the Palestinians, it's savage. It's savage. I just seen yesterday an old 70-something-year-old woman sitting on the ground next with a wall in back of her with a big, I believe it was either a German Shepherd or that dog. A lot of the Afrikaners would use. It's like a boar. Is it called like a boar? It's like a boar dog or something. It's like a Mastiff, whatever the breed is. It's a large dog. You know, bit the woman up all in her face. Like it's just not it's not cool. And I think a lot of these governments, you know, that's like, oh, you know, if anybody from Israel or Netanyahu comes to their country, they're gonna arrest them and all that. And it's just like, y'all know, you know what the Zionists were doing. Don't play stupid. This isn't new. You know, this isn't new at all. So it's like everybody's like so shocked. It's like this has been going on. And in the conflict between them both has been going on. So it's not just a thing of what's happening to Palestinians, you know, what's happening overall. It's not new. It didn't just pop up October 7th. You know, it didn't just pop up. It's been going on. So all these countries now want to play holier than thou. We're boycotting Israel. We're boycotting, you know. And you probably got kickback from it. And you probably partook in supplying them with something that could have harmed the Palestinians. So don't play innocent. So that's why I said earlier about narcolepsy and Donald Duck. That's why I said earlier they're both full of it, because it's politics. And I understand the perspective y'all come from of the thing of what you're gonna benefit from or what you think society is gonna benefit from. I'm not naive to that. Like, I get it. But for me, when it comes to choosing the lesser of the two evils, they're both evil. So it's just like, well, would you rather get burned to death or would you rather get your body tied up with two horses and your body yanked apart? That's how I look at that. Like, it's both bad. It's both horrible. You're going to die regardless. You know, it's both painful. So I don't put trust in them. It's all talk. And every time somebody's running, they're always blaming this person or this is why it's happening. But then when somebody gets elected, you know, you hear people say, well, this was leftovers from the previous president. Okay, well, if that was the leftovers from that previous president, then there was leftovers from the previous president to that president. So it's always leftovers. So it's just like to sit there and for example, with the migrant situation, to blame Biden, and I'm not saying he doesn't have blame at all, but this been going on. It didn't just pop up. This isn't nothing new. This has been going on. So it's man, this is the conscious community at the highest caliber. This is how I look at it. The Moors versus the Israelites, the Democrats versus the Republicans. One's a donkey, one's a horse. One wears red, one wears blue. You wear yarmulke, you rock a onk. And it's just like there's always the back and forth, and sometimes there's valid points from both, but it doesn't mean it's right. And that's just how I look at this.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. To bring it home, Democrats, this is at 10 o'clock, so this is about 30 minutes left in the debate. And once again, we're reading this from AP News, so we're trying to pick like a middle ground, not MSNBC or Fox or anything like that, just the Associated Press. And then I want to get to Hit's question. Matter of fact, let's get to Hit's question real quick. Appreciate that, Sister Safa. You're right. There's no way really to discuss the Palestinian-Israeli conflict without putting your channel in jeopardy, and that's it's you know, it's funny, but we also live in free speech, right? Which is wild, but it is what it is. You know, you understand the business. But Hit said, "Does America look stronger or weaker after this debate?" I think that the United States looks weaker after this debate. I do. Um, Biden is our current president for the time being, and he looks. I just keep going back to the word of incoherent. He looks incoherent, and I keep going back to even with Trump, because the presidency is 4 years, so he won't take over till January. Even if he wins in October, he won't take over till January, and I mean, somebody look up how old is he today? Like, how old is he right now?
Who, Biden?
I wouldn't. Yeah, no, Trump. How
Trump
old
is
is
like
Trump?
70. He's in his late 70s.
Late 70s, right? So it just no, it doesn't make me feel any better. No, I don't feel any stronger. What say you, Logic?
I mean, just from the standpoint of how much more stronger Trump looked tonight, and the fact that we still have Biden. I mean, if that's where you're going with it, yeah, it almost made it look like tonight almost made it look like America. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but it looked like we kind of need somebody stronger than what we have. I'm trying not to say we need Donald Trump, but we like he made himself look so bad that he makes it look like we need somebody stronger than that in office. And maybe unfortunately the only person right in front of us right now is Trump, but he definitely looked really weak himself.
What do you say? What do you say to that question, Cuban?
Say 78 years old, bro.
Yeah, so he's seven. So Trump is 78 and Biden is what, 80, 81?
He's 81.
So
That's three.
it's 3 years, right? So definitely Trump is more coherent compared to NyQuil. But I think in that regard, I would say that I think that's a better, because all they are is a representation. They're just the logo. It's not, they really don't have the power. But I would think Trump by his coherency is a better look versus Biden. But I don't really care. Like if somebody's old, if they're old, as long as their faculties are there, I don't care. I would rather have somebody that's coherent, 93 years old, that makes sense, that's good, versus somebody that's, I don't know what, 40, 48 years old. So that doesn't matter to me in regards to their age. But Biden is, you said it before, Brass, and I agree with you. I'm not a fan of Trump at all. But if you had to put them on a scale, Biden, you look at him in the 70s, Biden was outright racist, horrible. And it's just like, that's the type of stuff that I don't have faith in governments, because the fact of his title and knowing that those things existed, it's just like Harris. The people that she incarcerated over a plant that's, it's not a big, like alcohol and liquor is worse than weed, way worse. But all the people she incarcerated, and I think now she has her own strand of weed.
Who, Hillary Clinton?
Harris. I think that somebody named a strand of weed after her recently. But
what are you saying? What name?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Okay.
Kamala Harris, yeah. I saw something recently that somebody named a strand of marijuana after her. But just she did atrocious things. And she's VP. And would probably, if you're gonna vote, I could see out of the Democratic Party come out. I could see Harris compared to the other ones. Now, if you're talking what Democratic socialists is different, but it's bro, it's a shit show, bro. It's just a shit show. It's just a shit show, and I get it. At the end of the day, it's business. That's all it is. It's business. That's it.
Yeah, I think that with the presidency, I think as long as he's breathing, they're not going to replace him unless something happens that is a little stop it. He throw me off. I think as long as he's breathing, it's a sitting president. There's no precedent for that. I'd have to look it up. But I think that he definitely would be, he's going to be the person that runs. Matter of fact, let me drop the link. Just in case anybody wants to come up and give their thoughts. We're in the home stretch. We got about 15 minutes left.
I would like to see you do a show on Cornel West.
It wouldn't be a good one.
I tell you what, you scroll past this, but there was a
Go ahead, tell me what.
One of the things on the page that you're on, it said after the break they brought up something about the black wealth disparity. Do you remember Prince saying that? I wish I had stopped you while you was on it, man.
I can go back. Just give me a second.
There it is. Isn't this it? No.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
after
that's
the commercial break, right?
Yep.
So after the commercial break, the question returns to economic disparity for Black Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed you haven't made more progress? I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is hurting them badly. Now, I'm going to tell you what he's getting attacked on. I'm going to give y'all a chance to guess. But what he's getting attacked on, and I think unfairly, but he's getting attacked on them. This is where we've come in this country, right? I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is hurting them badly. And I think that I don't know, just say Black Americans, bro. Or say something else besides that. But that's being picky, I won't lie.
No, that's not being
picky. I think that's being very picky.
I don't think that's being picky.
No, I'm being picky. I feel like I'm being picky.
I'm gonna tell you why I think it's not being picky. When the term they are used, or those people, that's racist. They're being nice about it. It's how they're used, it's how they're describing a people. It's not them. They have their own identity, they have their own culture, they have their own ethnicity. He wouldn't say they, he wouldn't be saying that if it was the Jewish community. He wouldn't be saying that if he was just referring to Americans.
Right.
They wouldn't do that. Either no. The language is very important. And that is not being picky.
I mean, to be fair, you use a term like them when you're talking about a group that doesn't include you. And since he's talking about Black people, he would be talking about a group that doesn't include him.
But not as president of the United States, though. As president of the United States, it does include him. You understand where I'm going? Like
I get you.
You would like for like you represent all Americans. Right, and especially when you got to remember, we're 20 minutes left in the debate, and this is essentially the first time that Black America has been brought up.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? So it's like, you want, because see, then too, you also got to remember, I know the perception is that he's done a lot for Black Americans, right? But the funny thing is they always bring up, well, he dropped the student loans. Now, while we are more adversely affected by student loans than the rest of the races in the country, fixing the student loans is a human thing. It's not like a Black thing. You know what I mean? It's not like a specific thing to that. He's made some promises, broke them to the HBCUs. Trump did the same thing. This ain't like this ain't a witch hunt, but I don't know. I would just be a little bit more I just wish he wouldn't have just them. I don't know. I'm picky on words because but here's the second thing too, Logic. This is what I did for 15 years of my life. You know, I looked over speeches. I looked over much lower candidates on a much lower scale, but this is what I did. So it's not, I pay attention to stuff like that. My eyes are going to pick up on stuff like that. And that's why I said I might be being picky. So Trump says that Biden caused inflation when they volleyed over the economy. Biden retorted that there was no inflation. Remember, I told you this earlier. Biden retorted that there was no inflation when he took office, but the economy was flat on its back. Remember, I told you that? He had said that earlier. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the crazy part, right? Now, we're on Associated Press. We're not on any particular slanting website, but it says Democrats are deeply concerned about Biden's performance so far. He came into the debate hoping to project energy and strength, given concerns about his age. Privately, at least, Democratic officials suggest that he's failing to meet even somewhat low expectations. So when you say I'm being picky that he just didn't look good, you got to remember, they came into this knowing. They've been looking at him for the past 3.5 years at what he's looked like. They already knew that the perception of this was not going to be good. And they're leaving saying, even with low expectations, we don't think he looked good at all. Listen, it says Democratic officials were pointing to a social media post from former Obama campaign aide Ravi Gupta. Every Democrat I know is texting that this is bad. Just say it publicly and begin the hard work of creating space in the convention for a selection process. I'll vote for a corpse over Trump, but this is a suicide mission.
I agree.
Do you see how harsh that is, bro?
That's super. That's super harsh in a space where they're like trained to be professionally polite, right? That's damn near blunt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was harsh, big time.
So when I'm saying over and over again that he just didn't look good, this is a former Obama aide saying we already had low expectations. He didn't even meet those. They're willing to open up the selection process for a sitting president. Normally, just so y'all know, a sitting president is a formality. This is the person that everybody's
right. He's automatically the person representing his side, and they're thinking about going against that. That's what you're saying.
Essentially, because it don't look good, bro.
Right, like it's up to it would be irresponsible for the Democrats to put him up against Trump, knowing how bad this looks. That's basically what I'm saying.
Listen, and here's the thing: they would rather vote. The man said, "I'd rather vote for a corpse than vote for."
Right, that's a hell of a comparison, yo. He don't want to vote for Trump, but goddamn, he just can't see himself voting for old ass.
Yo, you see how crazy that is?
That's
you see how crazy that is?
Crazy, dog.
I would rather vote for a corpse than vote for Trump, but I do not want to vote for Biden, bro. He called it a suicide mission.
That is
okay. Look, it says. So it says, which candidate had the well-being of the United States more in their presentation tonight? Trump, easily. Trump. No question. That part, just based on the answers, if we're basing it now, I don't know who has more of the well-being, but based on their answers given in this debate, Trump. Because looking at Biden and listening to his answers, he's out of touch. And now I understand the governmental process. He don't run every damn thing, but he's out of touch. It's clear. It's clear to me that he's out of touch. That's just it. He really, like I said, I think we look weaker. What do y'all say to that? Then I'll bring it home and we can close out. What do y'all say to that question on the screen?
I think that's actually a really good question. I don't think I watched enough of this debate to get at a fair answer, but in a little bit of it I did see, man. I'm telling you, what was said didn't stand out to me nearly as much as how it was being said. When you look at Biden, Biden looked like he is the teleprompter, and there's like literally no life in him, right?
Wait, say that one more time, please.
Like
Say that one more time. That he is the teleprompter. That's a bar.
He looked like he is the teleprompter, right? And
Yep.
like this, if somebody in the crowd is like reminding him to use his hands when he talk every once in a while. So you get this robotic. I don't know what to do with my hands, but I'm gonna put it on the screen like I'm actually still here with y'all. He's just like he is a poor representation of whoever it is that's writing the script for him. Like he doesn't even project that well, and all of that isn't even him, right? So at least with Trump, I'm under the impression that some of this is him. You know what I'm saying? Even though most of it probably isn't him, but I feel like it's Trump saying it. I don't feel like that's Biden saying it at all. It's like it's just he looked lifeless, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. He lifeless, bro.
What about you, Logic? Speak to that question. Which one had the well-being of the country more in their mind?
You mean you?
I mean, Cuban. I'm sorry, Cuban.
I mean, I only saw what you had showed, but just that little bit I showed, you showed, I definitely picked up on that. What Logic is talking about with the hand gestures, it's like it just looks like a mannequin, and his arms is like this, and that's just he's lifeless. Man, that's
see, when you start
I
rubbing
mean,
here,
and it's like, and the thing is, like, I already don't like
because you don't want to support Trump at all. But but here's the thing: you see it, bro. You see, like Biden in this zone. It don't whether you agreed with, even if I agreed with Biden's issues, his health, he's incoherent.
Oh, he looks like he got a partial lobotomy.
Yeah. So to bring it home, Biden claimed that under his administration, more black businesses were started than during any other period, and that the black employment rate is at its lowest level ever. Black unemployment in March dropped to 5%, the lowest level on record. The unemployment rate hit its lowest rate at 5.3% during the Trump administration. In May, the black unemployment rate is at 6.1% right now. Speaking about illegal immigrants, Trump claims they're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs. Yeah, I know. There isn't an overwhelming consensus among Americans about which candidate did more to help black people as president. About 1/3 say Biden did more to help black people. 1/4 say Trump did more to help them. About 3 in 10 say neither. Yeah, so it's split 30-30-30. Trump helped us more than you, 30. Biden helped us more than you, 30. The other 30%, neither one of y'all helped us out. So now here's the thing. Views are less equivocal among Black Americans. Black adults, 45% say Biden did more to help Black people. Only about 1 in 10 say Trump did. About 4 in 10 say neither man helped. I'm not gonna I'm gonna say this, and y'all tell me if I'm being biased. Being that the level of Democrat support for some reason that Black people automatically give, I wouldn't be surprised at that thing. Does that make sense or no? Am I bugging?
Say it again. I didn't catch anything.
They're saying that 40 they did the same views amongst what's the name? So they said among Black adults, 45% say Biden did more to help Black people. Only 1 in 10 say Trump did more, and about 4 in 10 say neither. And I'm saying that the 45% versus how the world is saying 30 Trump, 30 Biden, 30 we don't care. Black people are saying 45% Biden, 10% Trump, and 40% we don't care. I'm saying that the reason why that number is a little bit more different than the national numbers per se of everybody is the more support, I guess, of Democrats for Trump and black people supporting Democrats. What you think?
You're
too
saying
much?
you're saying so basically what you're saying is that black people are more likely to vote party instead of policy, or how did you put
In
it?
my opinion, yes. I don't know the facts, but in my opinion, yeah.
I could see that.
In my opinion, yeah. In my opinion, I don't have any facts to support it, but it's Friday. Well, happy Friday. By the way, Bronny James did get drafted by the Lakers. Hoorah.
I saw that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So bringing it home, Trump and Biden, this is when they went personal. Trump twice raised Biden's son Hunter, who was convicted earlier this month on felony charges related to the purchase of a revolver while fighting addiction. Trump, who last month became the first former president to be convicted of felony crimes, labeled the president's son a convicted felon. Biden, meanwhile, referenced Trump's conviction, saying he had sex with a porn star while his wife was pregnant, something that Trump has denied, saying Trump had been found civilly liable for molesting a woman in public. And Biden said, "You have the morals of an alley cat."
That was a weak shot by Biden.
Yeah, that was old school.
That was
You damn, I could hear it now.
alley
You
cat.
damn alley cat.
Scoundrel. Dang.
Oh, you damn man of low morals. You've got the morals of an alley cat. Bro, he probably thought he was cooking. He probably really thought he was like, I'm gonna hit it. I'm pretty sure when they did the pre-debate prep, he was like, I'm gonna hit him with that alley cat line. They was like, okay, Joe.
Dirty alley
cat.
The
alley cat. That's gonna be the nuclear reaction. I'm gonna tell him he's got the morals of an alley cat. Wait, hey Elijah, did he hit him with the
right? Somebody get Joe some water.
Somebody get Sleepy Joe some damn water. They already looking for jobs. Look at this. Fetty, peace to you, Fetty. There are a lot of black people who are politically literate. Yeah. And you know who I blame for that? Parents. You know how many times my parents have told me, well, not my parents, but I've heard other people's parents, because my parents, I'm not going to get into their political business, but that's like a black thing. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong in the chat. If I'm bugging, correct me. But I would say that that's like a black thing. Like, vote Democrat just cause. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Just vote Democrat, Just vote. I never understood that. But if I'm bugging, y'all tell me, bro. I only know my family and a couple others.
This is how I know that you're not bugging, right? Because I know some politicians, not in the same type of way that you know them, but I know politicians that put themselves specifically on the Democratic ballot to give themselves a better chance to be elected. Forget what their policies are, but just the ballot, being associated with black Democrats says more about your policy than any of these other issues that you might, say anytime later, right? Like the fact that you are a black Democrat says a lot more about you. At least that's how it is in Louisiana. 100%. 100%. Like there's a clear dividing line between, what a black Democrat's going to represent and a black Republican's going to represent. Like, that black Republican might as well not even be black. Like it's just that's how people are going to show up for him in the polls. Like his policies could be amazing. Nobody's going to hear that because he red.
What about you, Cuban? What you say to that?
What's specifically the question? Or just as far as
like Hispanics, do y'all vote on party line or do y'all
it sounds vote, like it sounds identical to what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
Really?
except I would say that as you can see, unfortunately, on behalf of the Cuban people, I rebuke those that are like gung ho pro make America great again Trumpsters. You know, I think it's just, but I understand their argument from the conversations I have with them that it's about economically. Um, but you know, as you guys were talking about earlier, this Messiah figure, I think a lot of them look at him as a Messiah. You know, this is the answer. But you didn't have those that are Democrat. But you will find, interesting enough, as you have in the African American community, you have those that are Black nationalists, Pan African, right? So you will have in the so-called Latino community families that are communists, families that are socialists, families that are nationalists of the country they come from. To even those that are in solidarity with a Black nationalist, you know, that they support what it is they want, because it's identical what they want. They want a independent sovereign country that's not controlled or has any dealings with America. You see what I'm saying? But they have their country, so they want it to be something other politically. So there's similarities from how I look at it, you know, and I'm sure if you talk to others, you're gonna have a different reply, because some of them don't associate. Like I have a friend of mine, he's a graph artist, he's Puerto Rican. His father was communist. He passed away. His father had political clout in the Communist Party in New York. His father had a lot of dealings with the unions. His father was very involved in community, heavily involved in community, heavily involved in voting and politics and all that. But he was a communist. Died a communist. He was so communist that he had took his son and they went to Cuba for a while. And my friend was in a camp, if you will, that was geared towards communism, political education. Now he's no longer communist. He's older now, so. But it's very similar, and it does go back to what you said, the parents, because you can't rely on the school, you know. And if you do, you have American civics class, you know. It does go over. I recall junior high school American civics class was very thorough on the discussion of feudalism and capitalism, democracy, what's a republic. But now if you flip it to, well, what's a democratic socialist, or what is a socialist, or what is a communist, or what is this, and what is an anarchist? Oh, there's different types of anarchists. They're not all the same. Doesn't teach you that. Doesn't teach you that. It's going to tell you what I think that a lot of people don't even know as far as the branches of government. How many branches of government are there in this country? You know, it's the simple things. So it's definitely on the parents.
Okay. And DQ, cut us off. I know you busy. Just let me know when you want to talk. Biden then went on to highlight his work to reduce student debt. He has attempted to cancel federal student debt from millions of Americans, but many of those efforts have been stymied by legal challenges. Black borrowers on average carry about $40,000 in federal student loan debt, $10,000 more than white borrowers, a disparity that reflects the racial wealth gap. And they're split on how he's handled the issue. But then again, once again, another awkward moment. And an awkward moment after moderators tell Biden his time to answer a question is up, he continues, and by the way, but he never finished the thought. You know, it's just, you know, Trump went back to migration. I mean, to migrants and immigration. Trump went into climate change, which I have no idea why. And then some migrants and immigrants. During the commercial, they walked off, but they walked slowly and deliberately. They said Trump appeared to be upset. When asked about the high cost of child care, which Tapper said can be more expensive than rent for families with 2 children, Trump changed the subject back to immigration. Yeah, neither one of them want to talk about that at all. Trust me. The insulin question, which was they did that already, climate change. But I want to get to the part where they said that Biden had a cold. For some reason, towards the end of the debate, they started putting out that Biden had a cold. That something was to kind of, and that kind of let me know. I mean, that's other things you guys could watch it. It's getting late in the hours, but I want to get to the part where they said, okay, so Biden was asked how will he address concerns about his ability to handle the presidency well into his 80s. His zinger, these are some old words, directed at Trump. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. Trump says he took 2 cognitive tests and he aced them. Now, remember, this is 6 in 10 U.S. adults, so they are very concerned that Biden is too old. That's 60% of the country. Now, think about it. 50% of the vote, a little over 50% of the vote will get you the presidency plus the electoral college. 60% of the country feel like he's too old. So even if they agree with his policies, and I think that's where the Democrats are struggling right now, even if they agreed with Biden's policies, it's going to be very difficult to get past that age gap, especially when, he's going to have to campaign. It's going to be some, you think it's funny now. You think it's going to be some mess ups now. When he starts campaigning to be the next president of these United States, that schedule is going to be a little rough. It's going to be a little rough. So Trump answers questions about his age. Trump is answering questions about concerns about his age by pointing to the cognitive test he took as a president, as well as his golf club championship. He said he feels as good as he did 25 or 30 years ago. I don't agree with that. No. But he's almost 80 years old. That's not going to happen. He says he believes voters won't cast him at the end of the day. Okay. Another commercial break, and this is the end. They asked Trump at the end of the debate, would he accept the results of the election if he loses? He said, yes, if it's fair. I think that was a pretty good answer. Yes would probably just be a better answer, but nobody would have believed it. So I think yes is fair is on brand, right? And I want to get to the part where they talk about he has a cold, and then we'll close out. Because I know we got the show early in the morning. Because I don't want people to think I'm making this up. But they literally, towards the end of the debate, I was watching some rooms, and I'm in a couple of Reddits and a couple of things like that, and they were talking about how Biden has a cold. And I thought that was strange that right after the debate, that was like the first thing that I saw. Give me 1 second. So in closing, what you got, Cuban? You ready for this show tomorrow morning, bro?
What time is it tomorrow?
I can't look right now, but
last I thought you said noon because I was at work. So when you guys were really discussing all of that, I wasn't able to hear everything y'all said.
Yeah, I'll do a voice chat earlier, but I think it's at either 12:30 or 1:15. It's at one of those. So the Biden. So just to close out, they're saying that Trump has a cold.
You mean Biden?
I mean, not Trump, Biden. Biden has a cold, that he's not doing too good. Biden is sick with a cold from a campaign source. So I just Googled it, and it says Biden, Wall Street Journal, Biden is sick with a cold. The Hill is saying Joe Biden just had a 90-minute senior moment. The debate was really that bad. Yeah. The magic word for Biden's debate performance is old, not cold. See, I'm telling you, it ain't me, man. Like, I'm trying to be as partisan as I can, but look at this. This is NBC. Now, this is something that you would technically consider a leftist. They support more along the lines of the left, right? That's more. NBC is more democratic. Babbling and hoarse. Biden's debate performance sends Democrats into a panic. President Joe Biden was supposed to put the nation's mind at ease over his physical and mental capacity with his debate showing Thursday night. But from the onset of the debate, he seemingly struggled even to talk, mostly summoning a weak and raspy voice. He tripped over his words, misspoke, and lost his train of thought. In one of the most notable moments, Biden ended a rambling statement that lacked focus by saying, "We finally beat Medicare." Wait, matter of fact, this was the bar too. So Trump also pounced on Biden, saying at one point that he didn't understand what Biden had just said with regard to the border, and I don't know if he knows what he said either. Mm-hmm. Trump was cooking. So, in closing, what you got? I'm not going to ask you who you're voting for. What you think?
Wait, say that again. Who am I voting
for? I'm not
for?
going to ask you who you're voting for, but what you think?
I mean, in regards to that, like, okay, personally, I think the cold thing was an excuse. It's kind of like if somebody was playing football, basketball, or you only scored at me because my shoelaces weren't tied. Like, this sounds like a weak excuse, but it wouldn't matter if he didn't have the cold. He just doesn't. Yo, I saw that video, man, where he was talking to these little black kids and talking about his hairy blonde hairs on his legs and how he's weird. He's just weird, man. He's weird. He's not a good look. He's not a good look. Weirdo.
Well, in closing for me, it was an interesting debate. It's the first one. There's going to be a number of others. I think I'm going to watch the next one live, just on the channel. And in closing for me, what I would say is not leaning Trump, not leaning Biden. They're both too old. They're both too old. Just forecasting through the time, they're both too old. But the sad thing is, even if I wasn't a Trump supporter and I was a Biden supporter tonight, I would definitely have some concerns about Biden right now. I'd have some serious concerns because if the Democrats in the party are saying we need to open up the selection process, because you got to remember another thing they didn't put in here too. Robert F. Kennedy is running also, but he didn't meet the qualifications for the debate, so he threw his own event, right? And he was giving his own answers, but even he said they both look old, but Biden looks bad.
Where's Cornel Weston standing? Is he going to have a debate like this, or is he out, or what's going on?
You still have to meet certain by now. Most people would have dropped out, like most of the other people. You run out of funding or whatever. But most people at this point, they've dropped out. I mean, it's apparent it's going to be Biden or
Trump.
Biden or Trump. Robert F. Kennedy is just a malcontent to me. That's just my opinion. He's a malcontent. He knows he can't win, so he's just doing his spooky thing. He's one of the spookiest human beings I've ever heard in my life. But DK, you just popped on. What you want to say in closing?
I think that makes sense. Shoot, man, this was very intriguing. This is going to be a very interesting 2024 moving forward. But yeah, man, I love the different perspectives. I love seeing the different, you can say different, how can I put it? The different areas that are being depicted with this debate. So many different people had different, damn, I can't even capsulize how I'm trying to say it. It's very interesting. Just one debate has many different layers that you can decipher. So yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, they're gonna be talking about this for days to come. So I will see y'all in the morning. I'm gonna hit the Discord pretty early to prepare for that show, and then we'll rock like that. So this is Tribe Media. Like I said, it's all media. I take politics very serious. It's the only type of show I probably would be doing at 12:38 in the morning. But for me, I think it's way more important. You know, shouts to Logic for the show he did earlier. I think it's way more important than the conversations that that happen on the daily, you know, on YouTube, because this is the country that we're talking about. And you know, when you blame these the people that are doing these shows on these channels, part of the reason, and I don't blame them, that's why I said I don't care about views for something like this. I just want to, you know, a lot of this DQ and Cuban for me is it's a stitch in time, and I want to be a part of it. I want to make sure Tri-Media is a part of it, right? It's not even about algorithm. It's like, how can you say you're talking about media and you don't talk about Dr. Disrespect? You don't talk about the Hispanic issue with the founding of hip hop. You don't talk about the presidential debate. This is what the world's talking about. And to get her perspective from us, you know, this is the job we have. So, you know, and I take it willingly. But on that note, I love all y'all. Peace to the chat. Thank y'all for coming out. Make sure y'all check us out in the morning. We're going to be talking about, did they lie to us about the Hispanic involvement in the creation of hip hop? I think it's going to get real spicy. I cleared my schedule. Yeah, I cleared my schedule till 3 o'clock. I just want to put one person on blast, so I got a record. So I could say I put him on blast. Wait 1 second. I don't know how to do this.
Oh shit.
1 second. Okay. This guy right here is probably gonna get us banned tomorrow. I just want to go ahead and put this out here. He's gonna get our channel struck for the violence that somebody is gonna cause him to say. Yeah, see, a guy with a thumbnail of Big Trouble, Little China. That is his moniker. Cuban is officially Big Trouble, Little China. So on that note, I love y'all, bro. I'm out. I'm going to bed. I'm pretty sure Sleepy Joe. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him alone. Y'all have a good one. Y'all. We out.